everybody. We are now at the official end of our boondocking challenge. We didn't commit to 30 days, but we're kind of ending our challenge right at a month or 30 days.
The overview.
So what'd you think? What was the biggest learning curve for you?
The biggest learning curve is staying charged, saying somehow to stay living besides just one battery, or a way to keep that one battery charged all the time.
One of the things that I would say was a huge realization in this challenge was the need for a generator. We have boondocked, dry camped, not connected a few days this month. We'll go over the numbers later. But that was one of the things that we realized at the end of the day is we're going to need a generator if we want to continue boondocking. As many of you have commented in previous videos about, that's exactly what we're going to need. And we knew it was on our list, but definitely diving into our challenge was one of the things that we came up from, shaking our heads going, yes, generator would be great here.
Correct.
What about our tanks? What have you learned about dealing with our tanks in boondocking?
I'm still unsure of how many gallons each tank is. Yeah, so I'm not sure how many gallons each tank is for holding fresh water, for holding black water, and for holding the gray water. I am aware now that the gray tank can be let go almost anywhere. It's like throwing out dishwater from outside. I mean, that's no big deal. And everywhere we stayed have been, oh yeah, just throw it out in the field, or throw it out in the grass. Not in a busy area, but kind of off on the end of the property, or in the ditch of the property. They have no issues throwing it out. So that's usually the tank that fills up the fastest with showers, with washing dishes. So if we're hooked up to a hose and need to dump, it's usually the gray tank that just has to go out. So that was pretty convenient.
Yeah, the challenge with us when we didn't have a generator and we were boondocking places, as you saw if you watched the videos, was we didn't have our outlets working, so we didn't want to use a lot of our lights. We were conserving our little energy that we had because we had a small battery that was operating or powering those lights. So we were using flashlights. We bought a lantern, which is very helpful. But I realized that propane does a lot for a camper. I mean, we were still able to cook. If it was cold, we had heat. Our refrigerator still worked if we were unhooked because of the propane. So it was, I have a whole new appreciation for propane because of this experience.
Yeah, it's probably good if you're going to do this to get bigger tanks than the smaller 20-gallon tanks.
Is that something that people could, or we could even switch out? Like we could
absolutely.
switch out our tanks for larger tanks? Oh,
Definitely.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go. What would you say would be some pros that we experienced on this challenge that you took away from the challenge?
I'm more aware of what the camper's the potential is. I know what we are able to do without a generator. I know we can stay in a certain area for at least 2 days and be fully self-contained. We are more aware. We're more green, as they called us, for showering and for dishes, as far as using our water or our freshwater tank.
I would say that all the different people that we got to meet that we never would have, like we said it a few times during this challenge, it's like, wow, if we weren't doing this challenge, we wouldn't have met this person, or we wouldn't have even seen this town, so we explored a bit more and we got introduced to some people that we wouldn't have met otherwise. So that was a pleasant surprise, I think.
I agree.
Definitely. And we saw way more beautiful locations. I mean, mind you, we did stay a night or two at the occasional Pilot or Cabela's, but you know, those times that we got to stay, you know, in state parks or national parks, I mean, it was beautiful, and it was something that we had never done before, so that was definitely a plus. Would you say we saved money?
Yeah, we saved money. We did save money on not having to go to RV parks. I think we spent a little bit more money on groceries, thinking that we're going to use the groceries in a stockpile or whatever for. So we saved on knowing what we have to get for that week, having to plan out your meals, having to plan out the snacks or whatever for the kids, and sticking with that plan when you're hooked up never goes. But if you're knowing that you're going to be boondocking somewhere and being off electricity, being off of city water, I think you stayed to that plan.
Yeah, I think we didn't eat out at restaurants or anything like that maybe a couple of times. I think once or twice in the very beginning of the challenge, because we're still trying to get acclimated to being on the road, and then I think once towards the end. But other than that, we had been cooking for ourselves. That's definitely, I think, the change in what we were expecting. But I'm not sure if we said this early on, but our 30 days of boondocking was basically a road trip. So that's why our gas was so high. That's why our miles were so high, as we were trying to get to Texas for a certain event. So normally we would ideally like to spend, you know, a week or two in one location and make it cheaper all around. But that was the situation that we were in. Did take more back roads than freeways.
Stay off the main highway. It's awesome. And by staying off the main highway or the interstate, I found that we were able to go slower at an ease to myself, and not having 18-wheelers behind us that have to be somewhere, that have a deadline, that they're obligated to get somewhere fast. I didn't feel that in the back roads. I stayed on the right-hand lane, cruised at about 55, 60 miles an hour. Everybody passed that wanted to pass. And to me, that's a lot safer, because the tire ratings on the camper are rated to stay under 70 miles an hour or at 70 miles an hour. And I never knew that until I was researching more about tires. Did actually rotated the tires on the camper for preventative maintenance, and just by looking at the owner's manual, the rating of that particular tire says it has to stay under 70 miles an hour. I didn't know that. I didn't know tires had ratings like that. But at 60 miles an hour, it rode just fine.
We did enroll Ivy in the Junior Ranger program, which was one of the things that we wanted to do when we got on the road and started boondocking, was to take advantage of the national park system and, you know, have the kids learn that way. So that's been a plus, the Junior Ranger program. And we did utilize our Boondockers Welcome memberships, as well as our Passport America towards the end of our challenge.
Yep. And we got the passport stamp book.
Yep.
Which is pretty neat, because it's got a map inside that shows you where the parks are at, and if we're heading in a certain area, we'll look up at that passport book and it'll say, oh, you've got this national forest in the vicinity, do you want to go this way or something? And
yeah,
we've rerouted our trip once or twice to accommodate that visiting of the national forest.
Yeah, and that's been a real highlight, I think, of our challenge. When we have parked at state parks with no hookups, no electricity, now we're going on to the cons. It did kind of feel like camping in a tin tent. You know, if it was cold outside, we felt it inside. When the sun went down outside, it was dark inside. You know, so we were limited on, no TV to entertain any of us.
Or not necessarily entertainment, but for for well-needed news and weather.
Oh, that was an issue too.
Flashing of the phones that gave us notifications that there's a storm in your area, that there's a tornado touching down somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't have that capability to see where the radar was. We've got the app on our phone, but
sometimes we didn't have cell service.
Exactly.
And that was a thing towards the end when we ended up checking into an RV park for a couple of days. The intention of the RV park was for us to clean out all of our tanks and to kind of recharge. But what conveniently ended up happening is we ended up being hooked up and was able to catch the news and the weather, and a tornado storm was coming our way. So if we did not stay at an RV park, if we ended up being unhooked nearby, we wouldn't have gotten that news unless an alert came on our phone, and that's if we had service. So it worked out. Makes me wonder if there was any storms that we dodged when we didn't have service.
Yeah.
Or electricity. But
so I think the ultimate conclusion was generator.
Generator, definitely. One of the things that happened this month is at the very, very beginning of our Boondockers challenge, my laptop broke. So I have been editing the entire challenge on my phone. So that has definitely been a challenge, because finding Wi-Fi or finding, chargers just so I could charge my phone so I can edit them. So that's been a hiccup for sure this month. All right, so here's our wrap up for our Boondockers challenge. We boondocked a total of 15 days out of 30. But boondocked means completely unhitched. We did end up staying, out of those 30 days, 12 of those days were spent with absolutely no hookups. We dry camped for 12 of those days. 9 of those days, we didn't even stay in our RV. That's when we stayed in guest houses or a friend's condominium. And a total of 9 days that we were in our RV hooked up to some kind of something, whether it was electricity or water at a Boondockers Welcome house, or if we went to a state park that happened to have electricity. So those are the numbers there. The total expenses we spent in this month is $1,810.63. We spent a total of $734.25 on gas. Our food for the month, food, household items, alcohol, beer, wine, whatever you want to call it, was a total of $761.15. Our camping fees, RV park fees, any kind of state park fees, propane, anything like that, was $148. Vehicle maintenance, our battery that we needed to replace, was $52.30. And miscellaneous shopping, just extra spending on whatever items that we wanted to get, non-necessities, were $87.21. So that is our number breakdown for our 30 days of boondocking. If you like our videos, please give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment. We love hearing from you.
Follow our videos on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Lights, camper, action!